What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to Collectors Gone Digital. My name's Josh, and on today's episode, we're going to be covering the new VeVe Comics platform. Now, an awful lot has happened this past week. We've gotten a new music vertical, sports, South by Southwest, we have Stormtroopers coming, and then VeVe and Marvel have dropped a new comic reader app. Now, we're going to get into all the details, but before I do, I just want to clarify something, because in the past few days, I did put out a trailer for some new live content I intend on dropping. I received a couple messages from people asking if I'm still going to be covering the VeVe'Verse, and the short answer to that is yes, of course. My intentions for the live streams was to have the VeVe'Verse as on-screen content, just because I don't show my face yet. But to be honest with you guys, I just don't want to wait anymore. I'm not trying to complain or anything like that. It's just, in the meantime, I'm going to be providing other games as on-screen content. All the games that I do stream, though, are going to have a collecting focus, okay? A lot of the games also pertain to IP on the platform, like Star Wars. So while we play those games, and I say we because I will have members of the community joining me, we can use that time to answer any questions you want to ask us, as well as any new things that's just happening in the space and with VeVe. So I will make sure to stream the VeVe'Verse when it opens, but in the meantime, this is just going to be some of that on-screen content so we can get some of the live stuff rolling. So if you guys want to ask me some questions, get to know me a little bit more, make sure to stop by, and that should be happening soon. As for today's episode, let's get into it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. So this past week, VeVe unveiled a new app, their new comic reading app, and it's in collaboration with Marvel. Now, this is going to be a free app built to bring fans non-subscription access to premium, licensed digital comic books. A key word there, guys, is non-subscription, okay? Because I hear a lot of people talking about this whole, like, oh, what's the difference between Marvel Unlimited? Well, for one, you got to pay for the platform. You choose between 3 subscription plans. So VeVe says that they're taking a fan-centric approach to reading and collecting. Any comics that you purchase on VeVe Comics are going to appear on the VeVe app and vice versa. And we will get more into why they have a separate app for all this. Now, they offer instant delivery, and they also drop their digital copies, they being VeVe, the same day that Marvel drops their physical prints. And this is on a weekly basis. Now, organization on the comic side is going to be better on this app than the main app. You can keep track of all your comics and easily sort your books using quick lists. Now, the first thing I want to talk about here is how this is going to connect users, because I've seen the question. Actually, I saw a small comic shop owner talking about how, he's really frustrated with this move and how he thinks that Marvel should have given these comic shop owners a heads up. And I've also heard people ask, how does VeVe get more comic book people involved? This is exactly how they do that. So first off, this new platform provides a bridge to the main app without actually shoving an NFT in people's face. And that's the key part here, because one, not many people even know what an NFT is. And then two, of the people that do, you have a percentage that don't want to get involved. So what VeVe's doing here is, instead of going, hey, do you want to buy our digital collectible comic or NFT comic? They're going, hey, buy what you already want from Marvel, and then we're going to give you an option to upgrade it, which is just going to make what you already want better. So just like the buying process on the main app, users can purchase a limited comic without having to know anything about NFTs or wallets. The offer is what the user already wants, which is, hey, I want to go to Marvel and grab a digital comic book. They might not know anything about blockchain tech or NFTs or anything like that. The same way that somebody can buy into a collectible on VeVe and not know that it's actually on the blockchain. When that person who knows nothing about NFTs goes onto the platform, goes to add a comic that they want to get to their cart, and then sees an option to buy a limited version of that, a certain percentage of those people now are going to go, heck yeah. Again, without knowing anything about what an NFT is, or perhaps what VeVe is. So aside from us being the people who already know about VeVe, right? This platform offers to an audience, being Marvel's fans primarily, or physical comic collectors going digital, it offers them something they're already looking for, which is those comic books in digital format. The upsell, which is what turns them into an NFT, right? Limited. That upsell makes what that person already wants better without going through this process of like, all right, here's what an NFT or digital collectible is, and here's what the blockchain is, and this is why you own it. the barriers to entry are very low. Now, I've mentioned the option of grabbing the comic as a limited edition version. And what I'm talking about here is upgrading the comic. This feature alone is why the platform works so well, but also probably why the platform is separate from the main app. Now, on the right-hand side, you guys are going to see two prices for the same comic, okay? One at $3.99 and one at $6.98. The one at $3.99 is not an NFT. The one at $6.98 is the limited edition NFT you'll see on the main app. And VEVE actually explains this in their FAQ section. So to reiterate in their words, a comic, or the $3.99 version, is a digital comic you can read online or offline, which we'll get into later on, in the VEVE Comics Reader app. A limited edition comic is a collectible version of the comic. And again, you'll see that on the main app. So when you buy the upgraded version, you're buying the NFT. Now, going back to my previous comments here, let's say I'm somebody who knows nothing about NFTs and I see this. All I'm reading is limited edition. I'm not reading NFT. And for a lot of people who would read that, who have perhaps heard about an NFT once or twice before about all negative things, they're going to go, why would I need the NFT version? Why would I pay double for an NFT? No, I'm just going to get the classic. In this case, they're using terminology that people already know, right? Limited edition. And that's exactly how you attract collectors. Now, it wasn't long before the community figured out that there's a section on this website that allows you to actually sort graphic novels, which means we are going to have a new kind of book coming to VEVE. Now, under their frequently asked questions, they say that graphic novels are generally longer than traditional comics and can use a span of multiple issues to tell the whole story. To be clear, none have dropped yet, but it is something to keep your eyes out for. And on the right-hand side are going to be some examples from Marvel of their graphic novels. So next up, I want to talk about the comic reader itself. And I have some mixed feelings about this, mainly because, and maybe someone's just going over my head here, but it seems like the same one on the main app. And if you guys look at the phone on the far left there, it explains how to use it. I don't see any new features involved with it. And I actually thought, just looking at some of the photos that they were promoting, that they had panel-to-panel reading. But when I was messing around with it, I couldn't seem to figure it out. So I don't think they have the feature, but if I am missing it, somebody please let me know down below. They say the app makes it easy to access your comic book collection anytime, anywhere. You can read your comics online or offline. And each comic is meticulously hand-authored panel by panel. So the launch of this platform shines a light on one thing in particular for me, and it's just how strong the relationship is between VEVE and Marvel. And if anything, it looks like it's getting stronger and stronger. And a platform like this requires commitment. So it's not like they're going to snap their fingers and the genie from Aladdin is going to pop it up in front of them, right? It requires planning, and I think Dan at South by Southwest said on stage that it's been 1.5 years in the making. Now, aside from the comics being Marvel products, they do actually have clear Marvel branding on the site as well, which I love seeing. The 3 banners that rotate at the top of the homepage, you see the logo in the bottom left. And for anyone who's been with the platform for a little while now, you know, on multiple occasions, we've had David make comments about how, you know, we understand that the community's frustrated. It may look like at times we're not really doing too much, but I can assure you our heads are down, we're working. And when we announce or release some of the projects we've been working on, a lot of this stuff is going to start to make sense, right? In terms of, you know, where their time and resources have been spent. This is one of those projects. Like I said, 1.5 years in the making. So it's not something where a group of people on a Zoom call were like, hey, let's make a comic platform, and 1.5 weeks later they got something. This platform connects to Marvel's own workflow, meaning the new comics that they're releasing on a weekly basis, okay? This is different from VEVE having to work to drop comics that Marvel dropped 30 years ago. So I think this is a fantastic sign, and I know I keep saying the tip of the iceberg a lot lately, but it really is that. Like, everything that they're releasing right now is a new tip of the iceberg, and they have so much stuff. Like, what they're doing right now is they're building wide, and now they can build tall on everything that they've built wide. So they have music, they have sports, collectibles, comics, this platform, and they're going to keep adding to it. And as they do it, they can keep adding to each vertical to build them taller. So I want to address my thoughts about the platform now, and just some other points as well that I didn't have full slides for. So one, the downloading feature. So think of it similar to Think of it as VEVE'S equivalent to downloading a movie on Netflix. So if I download a movie on Netflix, go off grid, I can still watch it. When I download a comic on VEVE, I can go offline and still read it. So I like that. I also like how you can mint multiple at a time. So that's very convenient as opposed to your standard process on the main app. I think the platform is amazing for both sides. I know I don't have a comic background, but I can kind of understand this from a digital adoption standpoint. When it comes to Marvel and DC, I've always been into the movies growing up, right? I was never into the comics. In fact, Big Bang Theory is my favorite show, right? They're in the comic book store every other episode. I still never got involved. VEVE got me involved, right? And after getting my first digital comic, okay, I got my first physical. So there's going to be a lot of people who learn about the digital side and NFTs because of platforms like this. But people like me are a prime example of how it can happen the other way as well. Now, what I think is important here is that VEVE should release an explainer video, okay? And I understand they released their promo video and stuff like that, but I mean, they got people that talk on screen. I would prefer if somebody did that to explain exactly the purpose behind this platform. I know a lot of people were confused at first. So I think a 1 minute, 2 minute video just to clarify some of those things would be ideal, but it would also just provide a better introduction to VEVE for people who don't know about the company. I also want to bring something up about their cover art here, and I might be wrong about this because like I said, I don't come from comics, but I'm curious why they don't show the cover art on the VEVE Comics platform. They just show the main cover. But I gotta be honest, preparing for a video like this was a nightmare because like I was trying to search for certain artists like 𝗙𝗵𝗍𝗍𝗏 and Scotty Young, and I just couldn't find the cover art on this platform. I had to go to the main app and sift through everything. And that's another big thing too, is being able to search by artist. A couple other points here is there are a lot of 1000 edition covers. I know that there's this topic of discussion in the community around like, oh, people are buying because of the scarcity aspect, but in real life, these comics aren't really worth much. I largely agree with what Sleeping Comics said, which is buy the cover art, buy what you love. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I say going to be doing because I actually haven't grabbed anything. I'm just waiting for things to settle. But an interesting point was raised this past weekend, and somebody talked about how, you know, a lot of these 1000 edition runs, if somebody was to go and buy the full set or full series, right, then it won't take many collectors to scoop them up. So series collectors, set collectors, stuff like that could make pieces like that quite interesting. So if you guys are into scarcity, something to consider. But I want to end things off with another interesting point here, and that is VEVE's main website actually got an update as well. So we're going to hop over there, we're going to check it out. We're going to talk about some of my thoughts and opinions about that as well. So this is what the site's going to look like. And to be honest, guys, I'm not entirely sure why they would have updated it again, because it wasn't too long ago that they revised their site. So definitely wasn't expecting this. I got to say, I do like the older layout, okay? The older look of the site. However, a big thing I noticed is that the website speed has improved. So I'm not entirely sure if that's why they did it. If anyone from the team is watching this, I'm going to be super picky here. Way too much rating. Way too much rating. The font, sorry. I just got to say it. I'll give you guys an example though, so you know what I mean. So I'm not just sitting here complaining, but right here, right? Find your fandom with VEVE. Whether you love pop culture, film, TV, superheroes, sci-fi, or animation, VEVE offers digital collectibles from your favorite fandoms. That's what it should say, okay? Including Disney, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Star Trek, Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, MGM. All of that isn't necessary in writing just because you show it all right above in the photo. Now, you guys might have it there for like SEO reasons. I'm not entirely sure, but if I'm brutally honest, I feel like this is kind of taking a step back from where you guys just were with your other site. The website speed is definitely better. But what we're looking at here with the font and the too much text, it just looks amateur. I'm sorry, but it does. Even, I don't know, even this to me. No, I'm at 100. I thought I was zoomed in a little bit, but the layout on desktop is even odd. Like this, just one word, like just make it so that it's up here. But I'm again, guys, I'm being super picky here. Everything that they're talking about right here, again, in writing, it might be for SEO, but I would just put a video below here that shows what they're explaining right now. Because, and we've talked about it before, guys, attention span is through the floor nowadays, but people want to see stuff. They don't want to read it. So This whole like move, rotate, and scale your digital collectibles and comics to make them 1-to-1 size, then capture it all in a photo. I should be seeing that in a video right now. Just my opinion. Now I want to round the video off with a little bit of speculation here, because who doesn't like that, right? And it has to do with the colors that they're using on their site here. Okay, so and again, guys, pure speculation. This actually might be a little out there, but like I said, who doesn't like it? At the top of their site, VEVE collectibles using the color blue. We already know that, right? Comics for green, as seen right here. But if we keep scrolling, we then come across red. We know there's red and orange still left. Right now, they're saying it's for the VEVE market. They have a 𝗙𝗵𝗎𝗍𝗔𝗍 on screen and Spider-Man as a red character to match the red. Then if we keep scrolling at the very bottom here, they emphasize again VEVE collectibles with blue. So it almost looks like the different colors are going to be different categories. And I'm wondering, just wondering, again, speculation here, if the 𝗙𝗵𝗎𝗍𝗔𝗍 have to do with red. Because they've been known to tease us in the past. And I'm not saying that they're making this one obvious at all. But I looked at this and I was like, could this be a potential tease right here? So I wanted to include it in the video because I think it's kind of fun, but I always like keeping this stuff as like a little time capsule, because if I do happen to be right, it's fun to look back on. So let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section down below. Red for market? I don't know. I don't know. I actually just finished filming the video and I completely realized after the fact that I forgot to talk about the redeeming codes. So these comics do come with a one-time code redemption to be able to read them on other third-party platforms. Another fantastic move on VEVE's part that only makes this platform more powerful. Ladies and gents, that's going to conclude today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. That was a full in-depth breakdown of VEVE's new comic platform, as well as their new site. Again, just to clarify the live content that should be coming up, we will be covering the VEVE'Verse when it is open. Just in the meantime, we're going to be covering some other games for on-screen content to provide you guys while we answer some community questions and discuss what's happening with VEVE. The first game we should be playing on stream is going to be called Sea of Thieves. So you sail around kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean, do quests, collect different types of treasure and stuff like that. And that's going to be the collecting aspect of this game. And I should be playing with 𝗙𝗿𝗀𝗄𝗏, who is an active member of the community over on X. So if you guys are looking forward to that, keep an eye out for it. But if you enjoy the content, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see in a future episode. As for next, I'll catch you then.